Sarah, Tafshin Pei, we will speak about a little bit about Eliezer, the side of Eliezer, but most specifically, what Chazal bring that he wanted his daughter for Yitzchak. I'll explain later. We're going to learn the psukim right now to get to familiarize ourselves with what's going on. I'm going to take just a few psukim about the shlichus of Eliezer. Says so he wanted to send him to go get Rivka. It's a puzzling story that makes really no sense, and obviously everything is in remez, everything is hidden here. It says that Avram Zakein Ba Bayami. Avram was old, was getting old. Ba Bayami. If he's getting old, what do you have to add me? Ba, he came in the days. Really, words here that make no sense. Vashem Bereches Avram Bakoid. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu blessed Avram in everything. We already know that. In Parasha Lech Lecha, there was no need to repeat it here. Rashi learns from here. He says Bakoil is Gematria Bain. It's Gematria 52, which is Bain, to teach us that he had a son, Yitzchak, and it was time to marry him. That's what Rashi explains. To show you that we didn't need again to have a repetition that Avram was very wealthy. Vayemer Avram el Avdoi, Avram said to his Eved, make sure that it's pointed out that it is his Eved. Zekan Beisoi, the elder of his household. The Gemara says in Yoma that when it says Kafka Samud Beis, when it says Zakein, it means that he was sitting in yeshiva and learning. And so is for Eliezer that was repeating the shiurim of Avraham Avinu to others. So he was drawing the knowledge from Avram and pass it on to others. That was the job of Eliezer in yeshiva. HaMishel b'chol asher loi, that was controlling and in charge of everything that Avram owned. And he told him something very interesting. I'm not going to go into it in this year, but very interesting. And it's kedai to pay attention to these words. Simna, please put your hand, yadecha, tachas yerechi, under my thigh. Basically, it tells him, netzach hoid, they are the two thighs. And the yesod is in the middle, since the big mitzvah that they have done was the milah, he was telling him to swear on the yesod. If that was a pshat, he should have said, tachas yerechaim, under my hips, plural, because the yesod is not under one hip, is under two hips. So, punctuation here says it all. It's Lashon Yachid, Yerechi. He should have said Yerechai. I don't think I'm going to have time to get there. Ve'ashbiacha b'Hashem Eloikei hashamayim ve'Eloikei haaretz. And I'm swearing you that in the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is the God of Shamayim and down on earth. Asher lo yisikach isha livni. That's where I'm going to focus more. That you should not take a wife for my son. Mibnois hakenani. From the girls of the Kenani. Of who? You want to say Mibnois Kenan? from the girls of the land of Canaan or from the Canaani. I don't know who you're talking about, but there's a hey hayedia here before, which tells me you're pointing towards someone here. Who is that Canaani here? Pasuk should have stopped here. That's the order. That's the shvur. You should not take a daughter from me, from my son, from whoever is the Bnei Sakenani, which we'll have to find out who it is. Asher Anoichi Yoshev Bekirboy. That I'm sitting among him. And if you were not sitting among him, the Bnei Sakenan would be mutar. There's a issue, there's a lot. Losis katen bam. So what are you adding these words Avram? What are you trying to say here? Asher Anoichi Yoshev Bekirboy. Pay attention. Sometimes Yoshev in the Torah is with a vav. Sometimes is without a vav. And here we have a mali. Why? Interesting. Ki el arzi, but go to my land, ve'el moilati, where I was born. There you go. Ve'lakachta isha, you take a, Hamitami repeats it, and you take a wife to my son, to Yitzchak. Wow. I want to ask a simple question, very simple question. Avraham Avinu has a huge tzaddik, huge, Eliezer. Eliezer was a Gilgul of the Malach Matatral. I'm not going to go into it right now. I was speaking about Sad Eliezer, but I don't have time to go so deep. Huge tzaddik. Obviously, he taught his household the same ways. He's the one who Avraham Avinu sees in Bes Midrash, teaching Torah to others day after day. Why wouldn't you take his daughter? Do you think going to Charan, where all the dinim and all the kishuf is a better path for Yitzchak? Wow. Over there, there's Lavan, the big tzaddik, the Rasha Merusha. And you want to go there, take one of his daughters for your son, and you think it's going to be better than the daughters of Eshkol, Aner Eshkol Umamre, the real Gerim that Avram made from the very beginning, that followed Avram Avinu? You really think they're going to be better? And by the way, they came from Charan. They came with you to Eretz Canaan. So why would you overlook them to go back and take a huge chance about taking a girl for remember, Yitzchak was a oilat mima. Yitzchak was not a player. He was very straight. He was very, you couldn't give him a girl which is a snake. And Avraham Avinu was not willing to budge on this. Nothing. He wanted a girl from his land. Not sure what he was looking for there, but we'll try to see. Zera Kodesh explains how a person becomes a kli to receive the upper brach. And he says, I want to put it in simple words so people understand. Because the midah we're going to see from at the beginning and at the end, that the midah of Avram is avodah. we have to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have to do it genuinely and full-heartedly. That's the key. Acceptance of Oil Malchus Shamayim doesn't mean that I go to shul, I daven. Gather your thoughts, because nobody, everybody is human, and you have the impression that that's going to delay you to get to the human world, that you're doing an extra compared to the God. No, we just have a different avodah. Their avodah is Avdus. Our avodah is to serve the kings of kings. Abraham Avinu, the way he became a kli, it says Ba Yamim. We say Sheshes Yamim Tease Melacha. They are asked why it doesn't say Be Sheshes Yamim. In 6 days God created the world. So points the Zohar that the intention of the pasuk to tell us that the world was created with 6 midas, 6 spheres. Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. These are the 6 days of the week. Shabbos is the Malchus. Ba Bayam, when Avram got older, he reached these Yamim that we spoke about in Bereshis. That's what it is. I mean, all the midas that control that world, Avram Avinu was there to that, meaning all the 7, from Malchus all the way to Chesed. And that's what it is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Beraches Avram Ba'Koil. Koil is a name of the Yesod, because every midah puts whatever shefa it has in the Yesod to pass it to the Malchus and to pass it down to the people down below on earth. So Avram was zoiche to all the shefa, because he held onto the Yesod. He was a tzaddik. He made the milah. He kept it. I don't know how much I told you last week or last Shabbos about, I can't remember, about Abraham Avinu and his. But anyway, the Zohar keeps on going and explaining why did Abraham was so adamant with the Eliezer in order not to take from the Bnei Saknani. Explained the Zohar because he didn't want to mix up, and neither his son with a woman from other nations, because they have a tumor, and they are the one that are metame the hospital. In other words, by the goyim, the one that carries the tumor is the woman. And with that, the goy becomes even more common. Since Avram had reached at that time the 7 midas, he was chesed on the chokhmah, so he could see already, and he saw that these women, again, Bnei Sakenani, we don't know who it is, they would be metame Yitzchak chas v'shalom, and he didn't want to have, and he saw that the only one that would not be, that would be his evil, would be better in his place. In other words, when the Beis Hamikdash, we mentioned that several times, and I need to mention even more several, more times, so it gets in the head. Why don't I show you this? I'm going to get them out of the way this guy. Okay. We know that Yerushalayim rebelled. The Navi says, Yichilel Yehuda Kodesh Hashem. Why was the Beis Hamikdash destroyed? Because Yehuda was Mechalo. We saw a little bit last week about this. I'm going to take a different perspective here. Yehuda was Mechalo, was Kodesh to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, was to the priest, Ubal Bas Ernecha, and they used to go with Shiktis. This equals to 703. Equals to Bas Ernecha. What do we call a Shikta, Bas Ernecha, the daughter of a foreign god? The Zohar explains that she is the daughter of the lily. And in her, she's always inhabited by her. In other words, they look human, just as we look human and everything, but inside she's made of something totally different. And Chaz v'Shalom, the one who goes with her never gets rid of her. The Gali Raza, the Talmud of Rebbe Avraham, the Talmud of Dari HaKodesh, comes here and gives us a story within the story. And he says that when time came for Avram to look for a zivug, for a shidduch, for his son, the son, the Satan, was very happy because he wanted to give her someone that's from his side. Why? Because through that side, he has an opening and he can always get in. He said to himself, Eliezer is going to go. And I'm going to help him. And I have a daughter there, which is Rivka, the daughter of Lavan, which is totally in my side. And if Rivka marries Yitzchak, I will have access to the Kedusha of Yitzchak, and my side will get plenty light. So he was very eager to make that shidduch happen. That's why, when Avram went for the Akedah, he tried to block him and delay him with all kinds of nisyonis. In contrary, he has Eliezer had Fitzas Haderech, and in Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer, he said that he went from Eretz Yisrael, from Beersheba, or maybe he was in Hebron, whatever, all the way to Charan, to Iraq, in 3 hours. Just to show that when he works for the other side, the mamish helping. And he said, with that also, I'm going to make it possible that they will have a son that will be completely on my side. In other words, Esau. So all this was planned originally by the son. Interesting story. Just have a little problem with that. Because the Midrash says in Midrash Rabbah, one time a Roman lady approached Rabbi Yehuda and said, how long did it take your God to create the world? He told her 6 days. So she said, since then, what is he doing? So Rabbi Yehuda answered, he's busy with making zivugim, that the daughter of so-and-so to the son of so-and-so, the wife and so-and-so to this guy so-and-so, I mean the guy dies and his wife is available. the money of so-and-so to this guy so-and-so. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does. We shuffle everything in the world. You see that only HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mezavek Zivugim, and the Gemara says in Seita, Beis Amud Aleph, that 40 days before the Leida, that there's a Baskel saying this one for that one. What is the Sultan has to do here that he can do in order to guide his ways through the Kedusha? How is it possible? Besides, I would like to add another level of question, because the whole thing doesn't make sense to me. Eliezer, you're a big tzaddik, you're a huge Talmud Chacham. You know that your daughter, from the pasuk it says, "Vayomer el Avdo," you know, so Eliezer was still an Evet. Automatically, his daughter is a shifcha. She's not allowed to marry here. And even if you wanted to marry, the kiddushin are not taping in there. You cannot make kiddushin with a. It would be znus, but it's awesome. Totally awesome. What was the Havamina that you wanted your daughter for Yitzchak? In a different drush, I explained the word of the Midrash, because Abraham told him it's impossible. My son is a Baruch and you're an Aron. How do you talk like this to a child? Is it possible? The godless of Eliezer is beyond description, but it's not for that share. I just want to focus on one point of his daughter. How do you make such a mistake, Eliezer, that the Midrash will have to bring a pasuk, a harsh pasuk, we'll see it later, saying that you have biased scales. Your scale is completely biased. You're a big tzaddik. You know she's also to Yitzchak, your daughter. She's a shifcha. And even if they would have children, they will go, the yichus will go after the wife. They will be avadim and not bnei Israel. So what are you trying to achieve here? What are you trying to achieve? Besides, there's a huge machlokes in the poskim. If he was an Eved, how can he be an envoy to marry someone for Yitzchak? An Eved cannot be a shliach. You know, but I'm not going to go into the halacha discussion here. You know, I'll send it to you for Shabbos. You will have it, and you will have the whole discussion about what was the title and the reason and how was he sent. Eliezer, how the halacha also Avraham thought. Avraham, I have a problem with you too now. You heard the Zohar that the reason you didn't want your son to marry the daughters of Eshkol, Aner, or Mamre, or any other one, it's because you know that these women are metame. Foreign women are metame. What exactly did you marry beforehand? Oh, Hagar. Oh, she was from where? From your place? No, she was the daughter of Paroi. That he gave it to you, you know, to your wife as a present. What have you done? And by the way, you, Sarah, that always had the Shekhinah with her, and you would have never done something without the Shekhinah. Why would you give her to your husband, knowing you're going to have Ishmael, who's going to be the worst galus for the Yid? Bnei Israel never having Adinuim, says the Midrash, like the one of Ishmael, to the point that Malachim took the sword already when he was born. They wanted to kill him. What would use such a thing? And by the way, who is he going to go back to after Yitzchak is marrying Rivka? He's going to go back to Keturah. Look at Rashi. Look at the Rambam. Look at every Mefarsh. Rabbi Ephraim al Torah, even find it in Gematrias. That's Hagar. Oh, it's good for others, what you say, but it's not good enough for you. I'm not going to explain that part, but I'll send it to you for Shabbos, that you should have it. Very interesting approach here. You know, you can see from every aspect, things don't fall in place. We want to try to talk like a frum guy, like a yeshivisha guy and everything. But you see, it seems to be that, no, it doesn't work. The story is not what it seems to be. Let's rebuild everything. Let's rebuild the whole story now. And we're going to come through a different angle. And we're going to see that what we thought was the story is obviously not even our pipshad, is very far away from being the story. The story is something a lot simpler, a lot more direct, and we're going to understand every word in the process. Everything will make sense. Yes, you're going to ask me, are you telling us a vault today? What's the point? You will see the vault. It's that kind of a point that you don't have to rub it in, but it comes out at the end and explodes in your head. In Pirkei of Eliezer, says that Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted to do a chesed with Yitzchak and sent his malach before Eliezer and shortened the path, as I mentioned, the way, as I mentioned before. And in 3 hours, he arrived in Charan. And it's almost a swearing he brings in. Never Rivka had gone out to draw water before that day. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it that Bedavka on that day. Davka on that day, she would go out and draw water so she could meet Eliezer on the. And that was a Gzera Mipi Gvura that Rivka was destined to be the wife of Yitzchak. And that's why Lavan and Besuel, when they saw, when he recounted all the story that happened to him, Eliezer, they said, it's obvious that he came out of Mipi Gvura, Me'ashem Yatsa Hadavar. And therefore, we can only agree, we cannot fight it. And then he told them, says Rabbi Eliezer, don't delay me. The malach that came with me from Eretz Canaan is still outside there waiting for me. You can go out and see him. Amazing. I don't want to dig into his words now because we can give a whole share on this Rabbi Eliezer. So then they ate. They made the Suda. You know the story. In the morning, they took off, and Rivka arrives at the time when Yitzchak is out. Lasuach basade, to speak in the field. Pashtus, he went to daven. We know he went to daven. But interesting way to say it, as we're going to point out why it's a very interesting way. I want to go back to the pasuk to explain you a Midrash, because now we're going to go into this part, the heart of it. Because Eliezer, because Eliezer was thinking about making a shidduch between his daughter and Yitzchak, the Midrash brings that pasuk in Hosea, Canaan, so he calls him Canaan. Canaan is Eliezer. Biyadoi moizne nirm. In his hand, he has crooked scale. La ashoik ahev, to take advantage of a friend, of someone you love, someone. Basically, the Midrash says he's a bad guy. He's not a good guy. Someone who steals others, and even his friends and his loved ones, with the crooked scales and has just for his personal gain, has either a big ego or he's just a thief, petty thief. We just said Eliezer was such a great person that he was in Beth Midrash every day. The Chida Kodesh brings a tremendous shot into this passage. I'm avoiding the very deep areas because I'm going to have to. It kind of excites me and everything, and I can't afford to be there. So otherwise, I'm going to have to stop the shade in the middle if I start coughing. Just for you to know, the neshama of Eliezer was not a Pasha neshama. In the Chesed Avraham, the great grandfather of the Chida, in the Ein Mishpat, he brings the whole list of Gilgulim that he had and everything. Dari HaKadosh also brings it partially off. It's just amazing. So it explains the Chida on that pasuk that Eliezer saw that Avraham was teaching him Torah. And because you can't teach Torah to Eved, they have bad influences. They have bad spirits, following them. They're not good people. So it felt like already Avraham freed him. and bit by bit, through that learning, through that Torah, he was able to improve himself. In other words, because he started with being like a Knani, even though he was the I have a whole drush on this. Was he Oig Melech HaBashan? As some say, like Dari HaKadosh seems to say, was he the Ben Nimrod? As the Pirkei the Rabbi Eliezer says, and then he finishes, he was Oig Melech HaBashan. So is he Nimrod or Oig Melech HaBashan? Who is he? So he was someone complicated. He was a big neshama that was eaten up at the time. When Adam Arishon was choite, he felt very, very deep in the tumah, and Eliezer with his titkus was able to bring it up. And that shows you how much, how valuable he was. But still, he was an aura. And how did he want his daughter, as a Talmid Chacham, as a tzaddik, how did he want his daughter to marry the Kedusha in order to help the Sitra Achra to steal Nitzoitzos from the Kedusha? It's not possible. And therefore, that's why this pasuk was said about Eliezer, because Eliezer was about to do something, not to do, meaning he wanted to do something that's not acceptable, because in order to satisfy his desire to have Yitzchak as a son-in-law and get connected to the family of Avraham, he wanted something and he would destroy the future generations. Is that a tzaddik? Honestly, is that a tzaddik? So therefore, we call Muslim. I can explain that after developing and going very deep into the neshama of Eliezer, I could swallow this on the surface, but I could not swallow this. I'll tell you that much. Eliezer foresaw everything. He would not make such small mistakes. We'll see what it is again. I'm almost coming to the last year you toward the MS in this psukim. But I want to go one step deep. We explained the bracha. And you will see this goyim imach shemam, how they crooked everything we have and they turn it around. You will understand my words in a few seconds. When someone wants to have the bracha, he has to have the netzach hoid yesod and connect it, the whole vav, with the tiferes. In other words, you have an inverted cross. But the goyim, they inverted the cross. So we have it. So when the Kohen used to take the Levim or the Tnufa used to go back and forth, up, down, and up, higher up, which was an inverted cross. Netzach hoid yesod, tiferes. That's how he was doing everything. And there's a reason why the Goyim did that, but it's not part of the shir, so that's not there. And therefore, there are 4 types of women that a person is not allowed to approach. First one is, if you want to be connected to the Shekhinah, and the tsar of the Shekhinah that he creates is tremendous, stay away from a nida. Stay away from a nida, because then the yesod is gone. The Ola is coming back. We saw that last week. No need to go back over that. The second one, Nash guys, the Shifcha. You know what? I'll tell you a nice story. I'm just remembering about David HaMelech, how he was born. Okay, so we have the Shifcha. We can I get the mid of Netzach? There's no Netzach. Netzach Israel lo yeshaker. Eternity of Israel will not lie. But if we lie to Hashem, then there's no more lie. There's no eternity. So we have to stay away from a Shifra. We have to stay away from a Zoina. Echa Haisar Kirya, when the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, Hoida is Midas Hoid. That's why, because they were going with Zoinas. So Zoina is Midas Hoid. And Nash, yeah. And the Goya is Midas Tiferet. Why? Because they're so inhabited by the Malach HaMaves that they carry that poison, the snakes themselves. and whoever approaches them, remove Chas v'Shalom the Shechina, and he puts instead the lid. And that tzar to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and tzar, tremendous tzar to the Shechina. So a person, these are these four parts that the person has to be guarding himself. And the Gemara tells us in Avodah Zarah that Chazal made the Gzera, the Beis Din of the Chashmonaim made the Gzera, that a Shikta has a din of the four. She's a Nida, she's a Shifra, she is a Goya, and she is a Zoina. Knowing this, Eliezer, what was the cheshbon? What was the value of your daughter? It doesn't matter. She's a tzadekes. As long as she's a shifcha, she's not a bas Yisrael. She's not a bas Yisrael. She is nash gaz, nida shifcha goisa, and zoina. So there's no way, not even to get offended by the words of Avraham Avinu, that yeah, you're shocking him, thinking that you want to bring this package to his son Yitzchak, which is a oilat mima. The Chaim Paltiel, here on the Torah, on the Pasuk, ask that question in different language. But you can see that that's but he learns that you must say here that Abraham freed Eliezer. Because otherwise, Abraham would have not made a mistake in halacha, send an envoy. So it goes against the grain on the pasuk by Yomer El Avdoi. You want to tell me that you're allowed to call someone Eved is one of the thing that's and even though he was an Eved before, you're not allowed to call him Eved. You can come to Beis Din and sue that person. So what's going on? Why says the pasuk in Avdoi? So you can see he had a big doichek on this, and he wants to say the reason. So loisikach isha livni mibnoi sakenani, but at the end of the day, if she doesn't want to come, venikisa mishvu osizos, you will be cleansed from that shavua. That shavua won't stand anymore. So what's she supposed to do? So that says Chaim Paltiel that you can go to Aner Eshkol Mamre and take from the daughters. How is it possible? Abraham Avinu. Now we had a question on Eliezer. Now we are starting going to Abraham Avinu. It doesn't mean because Rivka refuses or Lavan refuses or Besuel refuses to send his daughter, that the love of Losis Chatenbam, Ekev Asher Shama Avram Bekoili. The Gemara learns from there that Avram was Mekayim all the Torah. How was he Mekayim all the Torah? He wanted to take a Knanis for his son. He took one for himself. He took a mitzvah for himself. Where was he Mekayim the whole Torah? I don't say this to Mekader Kan Avraham Avinu. Just want to explain where we're going. The Riva understood that there's a problem in this. There's a problem in that answer, and he gives two answers. First answer is, when is a person an error? Because the klala to Canaan was that he should become Eved. And this happened to Eliezer. He was the Eved of Avraham. But Aner Eshkalu Mamre would never avodim. And the second answer is, because he was Noigeya Eliezer, he had a daughter, and he's in the household of Abraham, he may cut corners if you allow him to send his daughters. You know, she may not be the best and everything, and because it's his daughter, he may be Noigeya Badavar and send her. I don't know. These are the Rishonim, and we live on their words, but we don't understand their words. It says clearly in the Torah, Lo yischaten bam, you can't marry them. If you can't marry them, you can't marry them, period. Doesn't matter if they were Eved, if they were this. It doesn't say in the Torah there's no chiluk. And Abraham was Mekayim the whole Torah. So we have to understand what is Abraham saying to Eliezer. There's another Midrash Rabbah. And this Midrash Rabbah is going to say the opposite of the previous one. So before we said on Eliezer, Canaan beyodoi moizne mirma. Canaan has in his hand skewed scales. Lashrik, I'll have to take advantage of loved ones. This Midrash says, Eved maskil, smart Eved. Yimshol, he will rule, beven mevish, on a son that shames others. In other words, he will be over Yitzchak. Why? Because Yitzchak is the one that shamed the whole world by willingly going on the Mizbeach and showing that he was able to give his life for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Upsoich achim, and amongst brothers, amongst Bnei Israel, Yachloik Nachla, he will have a part, and he will share the heritage. In other words, this Midrash learns exactly the opposite. So what did Eliezer do that this Midrash saw that he glorifies his action? Yim Shoel Beven Mevish, he did so big that he even controls Yitzchak. Since this one is changing and it's the second one, which is after, this one is in Memhei, this one is in Samech, Perek Samech, let's go understand what it means. This equals 476. Equals 7 times Chaim. Life on the 7 meters. Therefore, Eliezer never died. He went alive into Gan Eden, and he became like Chanoch, the Malach Matat. Why? Because when Chanoch became the Malach, he could not take his position because he never had bris milah. So he had to come back as Eliezer in order to have a bris milah by the hands of Avraham Avinu. And we can see that here he has a full midah. So what did he do, Eliezer? By the way, if you want to know also, this equals Roisim Kippur Selach Mechal Kaper. Someone who can get that gets full kapara on everything. So what did he do? Let's understand what the first pasuk. In order to understand in the second pasuk, we're gonna have to go back to the first and understand what it means. You're complaining about Eliezer that has Mons Nemirma, skewed the skill. This equals 393. equals Shifcha. Who's the Shifcha? The leader. So the first now, we're going to reread that passage. Canaan. Once you Canaan, biyadoi moizne mirma. In his hand, he has the Shifcha. She's still within him. And with this, if he connects to any tzaddik, lashoik aheb, he will take advantage of them because he will lower the level and he will take away part of the kedusha. How is he going to control Yitzchak? Yimshoel bevan mevish. You're going to see it's amazing the story that comes out here. Equals Keser Elyon. He said, you know what? I understand the words of Avraham Avinu. I understand what he's telling me about my daughter. I understand he did something that connected him completely to the Keser Elyon. But when he says Keser Elyon, he didn't go alone because this equal at Teres Bala. He brought up with him the Shechina. He did a tremendous yichud. Which yichud he did? You should know it by now. It's Kel Shakai. From Rachel, he turned to Rachel Imein. When she's complete, she goes up to the Keser, and this is when we have. So now we know that he knew the Yichud Kel Shakai, and he's going to use it in order to do something to elevate himself to a level where he's going to become a full Ben Yisrael, but not only full Ben Yisrael, he would reach right away the top level. So we explained the Pashtus, Upseich Achim, so amongst the Bnei Yisrael brothers, Yachla Nachla, he's going to have also his share. Upseich Achim, Yachla Nachla, it was the one, 734. Oh, this is huge. Yud Kevav Ke Ralab. In other words, he did the yichud to a level that you never find that was never done between Bina and Chochmah. So the forenames Absagma ben Aderalab, the forenames of the in the Chochmah, he did it bepashut and he did it bemilui. He did it with the Bina bepashut, he did it with the milui. Kasa kama kana. Kasa kama kana plus the Keye. And now you have the Nachla that he took Eliezer. What did he do? What did he do? Because if he did that and we can do it, why shouldn't we do it? He said when he came to Lavan, is that right here? When he came to Lavan, he said, he came with such a wealth. You could see probably he was dressed like the Eved that he was and in charge of all the household of his master, of Avraham Avinu, that was extremely rich. So you can look Saudi Arabia, you know, they have this cotton thing. You can see that it's great quality. He came out and the Midrash said his face looked exactly as Abraham, to the point that Lavan thought it was Abraham that came. So much he loved his master that he started looking like him. He told him, no, Eved Avraham Onei. I am the Eved of Avraham Avinu. Here teaches us one. When a person lowers his expectation, he has a rod, and he knows he bows his head. He doesn't understand every time why he's told something. However, he accepts it. Bowing down the head is the secret in this world. You know, כל המקבל עליו על מלכות שמיים מעביר ממנו all דרך ארץ. Anyone who's mekabel all malchut shamayim, we remove from him shibud malchuyos and the yoke of life, you know, the crumbs of life. Why? Because avadayhem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, they're my servants, not the servants of servants. When a person accepts the yoke of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when a person is, you see, you can be a tzaddik, you can be everything. Big Talmid Chacham, you know, but you're missing something. Capacity to put your head down. Everybody has to put their head down. The biggest are the smaller. That's why it says, Moshe Rabbeinu ve'ish Moshe honor me kol adam asher al pnei adam. Because even Moshe Rabbeinu, his midah was to put it. He was the greatest of the Nevi'im that ever existed. But his main midah constantly was to put his head down. When a person makes put his head down, he said 3 words. What did he answer Lavan? Boy Beruch Hashem. He blessed him with the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, great. What does he achieve with that? Midrash says, Yatsa miklal aro liklal baro. He came out from being an aro to a baro. How is it possible? How is it possible? With a few words of a Rasha, no. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted Lavan. How can we call him Lavan? He should have been Shachar. He's such a Rasha. Because he was the Lavan of the Sitra Afra. He was all the way at the top at the head. And therefore, he's called Lavan. Lavan had taken this klippa, had fallen into the nachash, which the head is called Lavan. And this klippa announced that by din now they have to release this neshama, this nitzait, this sparkle of kedusha, and therefore he was actually the one in charge is Lavan, and that was his job to announce it to Eliezer. What's this say? When HaKadosh Baruch Hu does something, if we look with our eyes, we'll see that everything is 100% balanced, and that's the way the thing is supposed to be. If you take Eliezer we know equal 380. But what we don't know, it equals Avraham Avinu with a kettle. Eliezer, his life can only be through Avraham Avinu. And that's why it's hidden in the number. Eliezer 318, Avraham Avinu 317 plus the kettle 318. He understood then, Eved Avraham Anoichi. What's Eved Avraham Anoichi? How can you be, what have you said so great in this word that you right away zoiche to be released from the klipa? He did a tremendous yichud. Eved Avraham Anoichi equals 405. Don't have quest to write again and go back in there. So equals 405 equals Yudke Vavke by the Tiferes, Shakai by the Yisrael. Aleph Dalet Nun Yud by the Malchus. He made the whole binyan stand straight. When he did that, this is the mate. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu had in his hand. He hit the Nachash on the head with that. Nachash said, don't hit me again. I'm releasing you. This is when Eliezer realized what the koyach, when a person puts himself down, he's not going down, he's going higher. In our world, in the world of the Yevanim, in the world of the today, Islam philosophy is I have to be stronger. If I don't put the other guys down, mean I don't control him, I don't have this, I don't have that. It's the contrary. A true great person is a person who's humble. He's humbling himself, even if he cannot, because he's so like Moshe Rabbeinu, he's humbling himself down. And that's because when you're humbling yourself down, automatically you leave room for Shekhinah, for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're not you. I am nothing. I'm zero. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is everything. Then you have Yud Ke Vav Ke Shakai, Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, equals 405, Eved Avraham Amelech. And Avraham Avinu equals Eliezer. Because only through that I could finish on the pasuk when I asked Asher Anoichi Bekir Boy, and I want to get taking some strength, but try. What is Abraham saying? Abraham is teaching a lesson to Eliezer. He says, it's not that you're not a tzaddik. Isha livni, but the wife for my son, this equals 398, equals hashifcha. Anything that's not from the right makar, it's not going to work. You're going to bring me the shifcha to my son. Mibnoi sakenani, we said before, Mibnoi sakenani is bas el necha. The shifcha again. Asher 501. We need what we need. He says Asher 501. Hamalchus Anoichi. It's the name of the bina. So, in order to put the malchus and the bina together to protect the malchus from the chitzonim, Yoshev Bekir boy. Yes. I'm sitting inside him, meaning I need Yoshev equals Eliezer. We need Eliezer to bring him the Kir boy, Gematria Rivka. That's why the shlichus had to be done that way and only that way. And when she saw Rivka, well, don't need to go there. It's enough here. So you see now the story in the Pasuk, Avram was telling him gently, my dear Eliezer, Eved that he loved, you cannot bring me the shifcha. So he told him the koches of the shifcha. You cannot bring the shifcha here. Any foreign woman. It has to be a woman that's going to keep the Shechina and the up to the level of the Bina. And it's only you, when you are Eliezer, going to go in Shlichus and take Rivka. And that's going to create. The lesson here is a person is biased himself. Yes, every person. You want to get out of it? Humble them. And even this negia that a person has, he will go. Why? Anaba equals 131. Samaya, the Satan, equals 131. The only way to get him away from you is through Amitz. Baruch Adeinu le'olam amen.